From Ireland to Italy, from Spain to Norway, hiking is hip. Hiking is young, hiking is green and healthy, and you can only get up close when you're on foot. Everywhere in Europe.
Sometimes it's hard to match the topography to the map because there's so many small hills and ups and downs. But the way is so clearly marked that it's I have to try really hard to get lost here. So I think I'm going that way.
Bradley Mayhew is British and lives in the United States. He writes travel and trekking guides. Usually he's in faraway Asia, but now he's exploring the most beautiful hiking trails of Europe.
A friend of mine hooked me up with Sandra. She's a yoga expert and loves the high mountains, and to me she looks dangerously fit, so I'm going to have to work a little bit hard to keep up with her on this one, I think. But she's going to show me the mountain valleys for the next couple of weeks. Ready to keep going?
Sandra Strolz worked for 6 years as a marketing executive in the UK. However, she was born and grew up in the Lech Valley. The Lech Quellen Mountains rise up to 2,700 meters. The most distinctive mountain is the Rote Wand, or Red Wall. In these mountains, a hiking path begins which follows one of the last untamed rivers of Europe, running from Austria to Germany. Christel Moosbrugger and Philipp Walch are up here often. They tend to one of the largest Alpine ibex colonies in Europe and ensure the population remains constant. In the 19th century, the Alpine ibex was almost hunted to extinction in the Lech Quellen Mountains.
But they were hunted a lot. And is that because of their meat or because of the
horns? Because of the health.
Ah, okay. It wasn't meat, it's just the...
Yeah.
For medicine or for decoration?
Medicine, yeah. More for the medicine.
Oh, yeah. Same old story. Horns.
Same old story.
Yeah.
In the 1960s, the ibex were reintroduced to the area. Today, around 500 live in the territory tended by Christel Moosbrugger.
When you watch them climbing around the cliffs and see the confidence they have on the steepest trails and peaks, it's a majestic sight.
Well, the ibex are quite iconic in many ways. I mean, they're a symbol of the Alps. For me, they're a sign that you're up in the high cliffs and the mountains. But there's also something, some deeper connection, I think. You know, you have the astronomy, astrology and astronomy both have connections with Capricorn, the other name for the ibex. You have the Tropic of Capricorn. So there's something very deeply rooted, goes back to even biblical Babylonian times, I think.
Lake Fourmarine lies at an altitude of 1,800 meters, near one of the sources of the Lech River. The hike begins here. The The Lech Trail passes through 3 regions. It begins in Vorarlberg, follows the Lech Valley through Tyrol, and then crosses the German-Austrian border. 125 kilometers long, the trail ends in Allgäu, in the town of Fussen. A week-long trek lies ahead of Bradley and Sandra. For the first couple of kilometers, the Lech Trail is only a narrow path, and the Lech River merely an ice-cold, crystal-clear creek.
And do we follow the river the whole way along the hike?
We do follow the river, so it's always alongside the river. Sometimes it's very close by in the valleys, and then it could be higher up to get a nice view of the river. Here it's still obviously very and wide flowing. The Lech Valley is special, and it's got lots of species of flowers and plants. You will see further down the way.
Soon the creek becomes a stream. It's 14 kilometers from the start of the trail to the first village. Kings, Hollywood stars, and other members of the elite spend the winter in the village of Lech am Arlberg. Ski tourism has made the once bitterly poor Alpine village very rich. Christel Moosbrugger doesn't just take care of the Alpine ibex. She also runs the Gasthof Post. The inn has been in her family for 75 years. Christel witnessed how Lech became one of the most fashionable ski resorts in the world. It all started in 1960 with the father of Beatrix, the Queen of the Netherlands.
And this is Prince Bernhard from Holland.
Ah, okay.
You see, a little bit relaxing for a little...
They're just like family portraits. It's like looking behind the scene. You don't normally see the royal family like this. It's nice.
Oh, we have so many pictures, you know. I could show you many, many books and that.
That's fine. When we stop looking at photos, we have to start walking again.
Yeah.
So please take your time.
So that was the King of Norway. The royal family from Norway came, and from Jordan came, and the Shah of Persia came.
Did they stay in the hotel?
They wanted to stay here, but that had been such a big group, and the hotel is very small, and we should have thrown out all the guests that had been here already for 20 years, and we didn't do that. The people from Monaco, they always ordered or asked too late for a room, so we sent them as well to the other hotel.
It's hard to turn away the royal family.
Yeah, it's very hard.
That's a tough decision.
Yeah, that is really hard. But we decided to do it in that way, yes.
Bradley and Sandra still want to get a bit further down the Lech Trail, which soon leaves the valley floor and heads through the high meadows.
So is this what you call an Alp?
It would be Alp or Elm, as we call it in this region. Okay. It's the same meaning, but it's different languages.
And that means like a mountain pasture, is it?
It's a mountain pasture and somewhere where the people would come in the summer. They would move from the valley up to a higher land.
Farmers from Valais, today a canton in the south of Switzerland, brought highland agriculture to the headwaters of the Lech.
the Walser people who migrated here in the 14th century.
Okay.
And they had a settlement of roughly around 13, 15 houses up here. And they were the ones that brought in the system with Alpine pastures, which means that they would come up in the summers to use the grazing areas up here with 3 different areas. The high pastures, with the bergmeadow we call them, with just 1 cut a year. Yeah. And then further down, and then down in the valley. So we would have lots of land for the cows, because that was the only way to survive.
Yeah, normally when you have man impacting on the mountains or on nature in forests, normally nature is the loser in that confrontation. But here it seems to be quite the opposite. The more the farmers cut the grass, the more wildflowers seem to spring up in that space. It's really a great example of man shaping and working with nature.
To promote Alpine settlement, the royal house granted the Walser farmers tax privileges. Some of the old Walser houses still stand today. Lisbeth Fritz bought a Walser house a few years ago. It dates from the 15th century and, for the most part, has remained untouched by time. Lisbeth wants to restore the Walser house without destroying its charm.
This is our old smoke kitchen. They cooked over an open fire. This big chimney, as you can see, goes all the way to heaven, through all floors. It's one of a kind, something not seen anymore. Because the farm is 500 years old, it's one of the oldest houses in the region. Nothing was ever changed here. At least in the kitchen, you see. It's all still there, just like it would have been 500 years ago.
I think you certainly get a sense of how tough life would have been in the old days when people were living here. It's quite a dark house. There's no mod cons. He would have had to have been very self-sufficient here. The guy who lived here would have pretty much made everything that he needed to live here, would have smoked his own ham, made his own cheese, carved his own roof shingles. This was not an easy life, and this was not that long ago. This is just 20, 30 years ago. This was almost a pre-modern lifestyle in a modern age.
The house was only insulated much later with newspapers. Even in her modern kitchen, Lisbeth still cooks on a wood-burning stove. For her guest from England, she's preparing knockeln, a specialty of the region.
I'm trying. It's hard work.
Beating air into a batter of eggs, flour and milk is not that easy.
I still haven't got it. I still didn't quite get it.
To stop the dough from running, the water has to be boiling hot.
I'm scooping. It's a pretty ugly one.
Wenn du nach Hause kommst auf England, sagst Frau, heute koche ich.
I'll make sure I tell my wife there.
Ja gut,
Lisbeth knocking.
Spezial.
I would have thought that the wood stoves were quite hard to use, that you didn't have the control that you have on modern cookers, but Lisbeth's saying you can move stuff around the stove to get different levels of heat. The type of heat created by the wood apparently is the perfect kind of heat to create these kind of boiled, almost pasta-like dishes. I imagine it takes an extra 5 minutes to get things going in the morning. You can't just turn it on. Yeah, it seems to work great.
Bisschen, ja?
Some milk. I'm just going to sprinkle them.
Oh, super.
Fry in butter and then garnish, for example, with Riebiesel, which is the Austrian name for currants.
So this is Lisbeth's special Nocken mit Lauch, Schinken und Riebiesel. I think that's what it is.
Cinnamon, basil, or even fresh daisy flowers go well with knockeln. Bradley is chuffed that his cooking was a success.
Enjoy your meal.
Thank you very much. I can't believe we made this.
For the second stage, the Lech Trail continues through the land of the Walser, with the Alps continuously in view. Potatoes and cereals don't grow well at over 1,500 metres above sea level. Most farmers here are dairy farmers. In the summer, the cows are on the pasture. In the winter, they eat locally grown mountain hay. Every morning at milking time, Kurt Soja is out on the pasture. He's one of Sandra's friends, and they walk together for part of the way. Where the headwaters of the Lech end and the Tyrolean Lech Valley begins, lies the village of Steg. Steg too was founded by the Walser. In the village, Kurt runs an organic dairy that is known nationwide. His cows have never seen fodder from the silo. His mountain cheese is made from 100% hay-fed milk, up to 400 litres to a cheese wheel, which is what makes his cheese so aromatic.
So Bradley, cheese down. 37 kilograms, no problem. What's important is to clean the cheese. We have about 400 to 600 wheels here. They have to be cleaned every other day. It's important that they are clean.
Very slippery cheese. Oh, it's some heavy cheese.
The cheese is cleaned with brine. It helps preserve it and also prevents cracking.
The most amazing thing about cheese is how it completely revolutionized the economy up here. I mean, you can imagine you've got hundreds of litres of milk every day. This is perhaps in the days before refrigeration. What do you do with all this milk? You can't transport it quickly enough, you can't sell it quickly enough. And cheese is such an elegant solution to that problem. You can store it, you can transport it. It's essentially you're putting your money, you're investing it in the bank. The bank made a cheese.
The cheese needs to ripen for 6 months. Only then does it have the required flavour.
Okay, one done. 857 to go.
During the last ice age, the Lech Valley was covered with a huge glacier. When the ice melted, the river had to laboriously gouge a new bed. Time and again, the valley narrows, and the Lech reveals its wild side to Bradley and Sandra. At some places along the Lech Trail, canyoning is an alternative to hiking. Sandra knows the canyoning guide.
Hey, da sieht man dich auch wieder mal.
Können Sie es vielleicht in Bradley mitnehmen?
One person, yeah? Yeah?
Data, so like this. You can talk, you have enough air.
Yeah, I can breathe, I can talk.
So it's close enough.
Yeah, so it's good.
Perfect.
Time for Bradley to show whether he can hold his own against the Lech. After After you get into the river, it's a fair distance before you can get back out. The heavy current rubs mineral pigments off the rocks. That's what gives the Lech its distinctive turquoise colour.
That was great, Chris, thanks.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It was really good.
That's fine.
Yeah, when I decided to hike the Lech Weg, I figured that I'd actually be hiking it. So it's a nice surprise, a refreshing surprise to actually swim a part of it. That was unexpected for sure. But apart from it being extremely cold, it was great, very refreshing, exhilarating. Time now to head back up into the hills, do some more hiking. Better find Sandra. Hope she's still got my pack. Get some dry clothes and head off again.
If you take it slow, you need 7 days to hike the Lech Trail. The third stage is one of the easiest.
After a couple of days in the high, tight mountain valleys, the landscape's now opened up. Lovely meadows surrounding us. Still big high mountains on either side. We're in a nice, beautiful valley. Lots of side valleys to explore if you want to do that. But now we're pretty much following the valley, following the river. Nice, easy walking. Lots of villages to explore. Lots of little places to stock up supplies for the days ahead.
Space for crops is scarce in the narrow Lech Valley. In the 16th century, villagers like Holzgau could no longer feed themselves. Many residents emigrated or worked elsewhere as builders. Some of those who returned brought an art form with them that now characterizes the village. Lisbeth Hornstein and her sister Gabi are masters of Lüftelmalerei,
Lovely painting.
a form of fresco found on the houses here.
Are you just restoring or are you painting it?
Only the parts which are destroyed from the rain and the snow.
It doesn't look very Austrian to me. It looks almost Italian, classical.
Yeah, the painters have been in Italy and they learned how to paint this, and then they come back to their houses, to their homes where they were from, and they showed what they learned there in Italy.
So they're showing off their skills, but also showing off the money.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Great.
Lüftelmalerei is painted directly on the fresh plaster and usually features the patron saint of the house owner in full Baroque splendor. The term Lüftelmalerei, which one might assume translates into air painting, doesn't, however, refer to painting in the fresh air or from the light, airy brushstroke.
Eigentlich gibt's ja diesen Begriff nur bei uns im deutschsprachigen
Actually,
Raum.
the term is used only in German-speaking countries. The first person here to begin with architectural painting, or Trompe-l'Île painting, painted a house in Oberammergau. The house was the Lüftel house. The Lüftel family lived there. He painted the Trompe-l'Île on it, and then he called himself the Lüftel painter. The name stuck to him, and over time this kind of painting became known as Lüftelmalerei.
I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
You're the Botticelli of Holzgau.
No. Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice. It looks good. No, it looks good.
Normally, you shouldn't see what we are doing here.
Yes,
If it's finished.
it should just look like it's 200 years old.
Yes, yes.
After Holzgau, the Lech Trail once again leaves the valley floor. It crosses the Hohenbach Gorge via a 200-metre-long suspension footbridge, the longest in all of Austria. It's 100 metres to the bottom, so if you take the bridge, you don't want to be afraid of heights. The Lech Trail is marked with a white L. But when you're en route with Sandra, you don't need a map. She's hiked the path many times, and she also knows people who live or work along the Lech Trail.
Hello, Daniela. How are you? Is it okay if we look over your shoulder a bit?
Daniela Hardera cultivates a plant that doesn't grow in all gardens, and one which has been protected in Austria since 1886. Edelweiss smells like musk and is an almost forgotten medicinal plant.
In the old days, Edelweiss was also called dysentery weed. It was used against diarrhea. In Bavaria, they call it bellyache flower. You can dry the plant and make tea from it. The farmers also used it as sunscreen. They took the blossom, or just the upper part, made it into a powder, and then mixed it with whey. They then applied it as sunscreen.
It's quite an iconic plant, I think. For me, it symbolises the Alps. You see it on hiking club crests, you see it on mountain rescue. It's pretty much everywhere, but surprisingly, it's the first time I've seen it. I always thought it was up on the high peaks and you had to go searching for it, and here it is, just growing at our feet.
The Lech Valley is ideal for Edelweiss. The soil is very calcareous, and yes, I'm curious to see whether I'll be appropriately successful here with the Edelweiss.
I think it's always a good idea to use local products, local endemic plants. That's always great if you can use it in a sustainable way. And that adds extra value to the products that you make. I hope it tastes good. I mean, that's the bottom line. And then I hope economically it works. You've got to persuade people to pay a little bit more for an organic Edelweiss juice than you do for a Coca-Cola down in the supermarket.
Daniela produces Edelweiss syrup. When added to ice and lemon juice, it makes a refreshing lemonade.
Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers.
I've also added some secret herbs to the mix.
Secret, is it?
Ingredients.
Special herbs, is it?
Exactly.
That's the secret. Well, it's great. Yeah, it's very refreshing.
A famous story from the 19th century is set in a valley that branches off from the Lech. It's a story familiar to everyone in the Alps. Back then, eagles were somewhat unkindly referred to as Geier, the German word for vultures. One built its nest on a steep cliff and would hunt the lambs on the pastures. None of the young men in the valley dared take on the dangerous task of destroying the nest. It took a girl to muster up the courage. Armed with a knife, she climbed the cliff and took the baby bird. The tale became a novel, Die Geier Valley, or the Vulture Maiden. The historical inspiration for the story is Anna Steiner-Knittel, a free-spirited woman from the Lech Valley.
I mean, she looks pretty tough.
She did. I think she was at that time quite rebellious. She was very strong-willed, so she wouldn't marry the guy that was meant for her. So she went off to Innsbruck, which was, again, very unusual for that time, because she just left her home, her mountain farmer home, to live in Innsbruck and become an artist. So she was a role model for emancipation.
Yeah, from what Sandra was telling me, You know, the Gaia Valley is obviously a famous story throughout the German-speaking world. It's become romanticized, I think, over the years through the pictures, through the novel. But there definitely seem to be the roots are in history here. There is a wall. She did climb up it, so the basis of it, it's certainly got its roots in fact here.
This leg of the hike ends at the village of Alp, a woodcarving centre. There's a school here dedicated to teaching creative woodcarving. The technical aspects of woodcarving are as much a part of the training as the use of a chainsaw for carving your own artistic designs. Artisans, hobby woodcarvers, and a lot of artists learn how to handle wood gouges and chisels here. The school was founded only 20 years ago, but as Helena Obermüller explains, the wood sculpting tradition in Alp goes back over 400 years.
It has been a tradition in all of Austria for the churches, because the Catholic churches have a lot of wood carving and sculptures in the churches.
Okay.
And then the Lech Valley was a very poor valley.
Right.
There's not much farming area, and the people needed something to do in the wintertime to earn more money.
Yeah, so it's partly economic and partly they just had plenty of time in those long dark winters.
Yes, I suppose so, yes.
The students at the Alp carving school come from all over the world.
And everybody likes wood, I think.
Yeah, it's a lovely material. It's very natural, very warm, organic, looks good, smells great.
You can heat with it as well.
Yes, and if you don't do it very well, you can just chuck it in the fire.
Exactly.
Every year, rain and melting snow wash about 100,000 tons of rubble into the Lech Valley. The river here is reverently referred to as the Great Landowner. There are few natural retention areas, so when there's rain or a thaw, the river takes as much land with it as it needs.
Well, we've had a lot of rain overnight and the landscape's changed quite a lot. The river is much higher than it was before. All the tributaries have collected all their water from a huge catchment area. It's all flowing down the river. So it's a different river today. Its character is different, its mood is different. I think that's the joy of a free-flowing river. It changes all the time.
The Lech can sometimes be a dangerous river. It changes almost daily, especially if it rains a lot, like right now. Then the level can rise very quickly, and that brings its own dangers. But for us hikers, it's sometimes nice to see how the Lech has its own turquoise colour, and then a different colour and a different course. That's what makes it so attractive.
Wherever an attempt has been made to tame the Lech, the opposite has been achieved. Pile dams were meant to prevent the river from overflowing, but the river had other ideas. The Lech River took the land and formed these braid-like pebble banks, called Lech braids. Since 2004, the Tyrolean Lech has been a nature conservation area. The biologist Caroline Winkelmeyer is evaluating the population of the indigenous insects of the park.
You look like you're hunting little tiny things.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a species of grasshopper, and it's typical for these mountain rivers.
Okay.
And it's very rare.
And what's this insect called?
In German you say gefleckte Schnarrschrecke.
Gefleckte what?
Schnarrschrecke. Yeah. Schrecke.
Schrecke.
Yes.
Gefleckte Schnarrschrecke.
Yes.
That's not an easy one.
This name is because of the sound when it's flying. It makes a very loud noise.
Does it tell you something about the river or in the environment, this grasshopper?
Yeah, it's only in places where you have this dynamically changing branches and this wide riverbed, because it needs this gravelled ground. Here it's perfect for this species.
The spotted rattle grasshopper can grow up to 4 centimetres in length and belongs to the Acrididae family. In Central Europe, it faces extinction because of all the construction taking place along riverbanks, its natural habitat.
But Caroline was saying they're actually a very important indicator of the health of the river valley. And sometimes from the very smallest and most insignificant of animals, you can tell a lot about the health of the ecosystem.
It's not just the river that's included in the Tiroler Lech Nature Reserve. The side valleys and flood zones are also protected.
The only constant of this river and area is actually the inconstancy. Many think that water has a rather destructive force, but that's not accurate. Along the Lech, thanks to its strong current and the changes, many species that need these changes have the chance to survive here.
Hiking paths need a certain amount of infrastructure. They need the hotels, they need the signs, they need toilets and restaurants. But as long as you can keep those away from protected areas, then, mountain biking, hiking, these are pretty low impact, sustainable ways of visiting areas. A great way for tourism to work in the future with wild, beautiful rivers like this one.
This stage of the hike ends at the village of Weissenbach. Sandra wants to show Bradley where she now works. In his father's old garage, the vintage car lover Roland Wolf has opened his company.
Thanks for lending me Sandra.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, she's been showing me the valley, so that's...
It was not so easy the last 2 weeks without her.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Roland's company manufactures delicate products with heavy machinery.
So this is the base of the frames. This is the wood that's been compressed together.
Here we build it also here. Mm-hmm. It's out of 9 layers of thin wood. Right. We press it together and laminate it. Yeah. Then it goes to the machine to cut it out.
So how did you get the idea to make the frames from wood? I mean, that's quite an unusual thing to make them from. You're the first guy, right?
Important for me, I like to work with nature stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I like to make things nobody do it. And that was the point. That's cool.
The designs of his products are also unusual. For her design ideas, Maria Ilyazovic likes to browse old car catalogues.
Basically, classic cars are our source for inspiration. For example, a Chevy, a Bel Air, which is very 60s, a somewhat feminine car. Back then, there were often sky blue and white combos, or pink and white. And those are the kind of things that definitely have an influence.
Glasses made of wood. Roland came up with the idea in 2007, but at the time, no bank was willing to give him a loan, despite the fact that woodworking is traditional in the Lech Valley.
It's one of the most difficult materials to work so finely, but it's also one of the lightest. It's highly flexible, super non-allergenic, and actually perfect for the product. Only the material definitely doesn't lend itself to bulk production.
Since then, the glasses produced by this Lech Valley firm have been sold in many places, including Japan.
It's this very combination, this down-home, earthy, artisanal high quality, at times almost absolutely obsessively perfectionism that is simply rooted to the region, as well as this modern design wanted in metropoles. It's all very important to me.
The product range of the company now includes over 90 different models. When the catalogue for the new collection is put together, the employees themselves stand in front of the camera, as well as hikers who happen to make it here. After passing Riedener Lake, the trail goes through the Klausenwald forest to the ruins of Ehrenberg Castle, strategically located above the Reuter Basin. In the 13th century, Ehrenberg Castle was part of a sophisticated system of fortresses. Those who ruled here controlled one of the main trading routes through the Alps.
So this is a beautiful Reuter Basin, an important junction. Up here you've got the Fernpass, and it's transalpine trade routes. I think actually Fernpass in German means long distance pass, so that's interesting. You've had trade coming through here ever since the Romans built the Via Claudia Augusta, and you've also had a network of salt trading routes that came through this whole region. So Reuter quickly became an important trading town, became a market town, and very prosperous. It's still a little bit too industrial these days, so that's why the Lech Weg wisely goes up into the mountains, drops down the other side, and carries on into Germany.
The last leg of the Lech Trail. There's still another 20 kilometers to go before the hike ends at the town of Fussen. Somewhere in the forest, Sandra and Bradley cross the border between Austria and Germany. In this mixed-growth forest, the two run into a ranger and Urs Langenbacher. They're searching for a rare yew tree.
Hello. Is there something special you're looking at? You look very focused on something.
Oh yeah, it's a very special tree here.
Dark green one?
In former times it did play quite an important role and was quite sought after, especially for tone wood.
Tone wood? What is tone wood?
We name it tone wood if it's used for producing musical instruments. Tone production of the timber has also been used for making longbows, for example.
Oh,
and I don't know, where do you come from, the British Isles? Or?
Yes, I'm from England.
That's funny because there was quite a struggle between the ones using the timber at home, here around, and others exporting it to Great Britain.
Right, so you sold us all your wood so that we could make weapons out of it?
Exactly.
That's how, that was a strategic mistake.
Not clever.
The yew is the only poisonous tree native to Europe.
Even the bark is poisonous.
This bark.
So I'm wearing a mask, working with it as well.
So you work with this wood?
Yeah.
Ah,
so
okay.
If you're interested in that, could come around, have a look at the workshop if you like.
Yeah, in Fussen, is it?
Just in the center of the old town.
That would be good. Yeah,
come
I
around.
look forward to that.
But the duo don't want to take the direct route to Fussen. It's a small detour off the Lech Trail, but it's worth it. Hohenschwangau Castle was built in 1832 and is the older of the two surviving pleasure palaces of the kings of Bavaria. Neuschwanstein Castle lies across the way. Finally, the town of Fussen. On the southern outskirts of the town, Bradley and Sandra are going to go their separate ways.
Yeah, that's the Lech Fall. That would be the end of the Lech Weg. We've done pretty good, I think. 125 kilometers, so that's not bad.
Not bad at all. So, end of the hike.
That's the end of it now.
Yeah.
So it was a pleasure.
Yeah,
all
thank
the
you.
best to you.
Thank you so much.
And,
Yeah, will do. Thanks for showing me all the secrets of the valley, introducing me
worries.
to some great people. I really appreciate it.
No worries, my pleasure. Okay, bye now.
Bye-bye.
Just a short walk from the Lech Fall is the old town of Fussen, which has been a production centre for stringed instruments since the 15th century. Before he goes back home, Bradley wants to see where and how the poisonous yew wood is processed.
That's our workshop.
Oh, it's a great place.
Urs Langenbacher shares the workshop with a colleague.
The stuff we saw from the tree we saw yesterday.
Ah, okay.
And I'm using it as ribs for a lute back. Thin stripes glued together. And if you have cut it, it looks like that. So a radial cut. And it's very nice if you use it like that. It looks like
lovely.
A stripy, white, brown, stripy.
Yeah,
bow
visually
back.
it looks beautiful.
His colleague specialises in violins. Urs himself makes lutes, which were once the instrument of the royal courts.
What is it about the yew wood that makes it so good for making lutes?
It's incredibly elastic and strong.
Okay.
And that's something which is important for
you need to bend it.
A rib to be bent and to be lightweight and strong. So I'm building lute on top of this mold.
Okay, got it.
And it's glued together so that the ribs are bent in the right shape.
Yeah.
Glued together, only 1.5 millimeters thick. And I used some maple stripes to make it look more
dramatic.
Interesting. Die Geschichte unseres Handwerks in Füssen.
The history of our craft in Fussen extends far back. Actually, even to the middle of the 15th century, there's the first evidence. Particularly significant was the establishment of the first local guild in the mid-16th century, in 1562. The guild system meant clear rules, a clear apprenticeship scheme, and the obligation for the trained that when they couldn't take over a workshop here, they had to move onwards. They were often the people who then became really famous, because they were much closer to the customers than here at home. Almost all famous lute makers of northern Italy in the 16th and 17th century were actually from Fussen. That really means something.
The great thing for me about the Lech River is that, it's not a wilderness high alpine hike, but you do get beautiful scenery, and if you want to, for those who are interested in this kind of thing, there's plenty of history, plenty of culture. There's not many places where you get the chance to walk in alpine valleys and then in the afternoon get to learn about the 15th century lute making industry. So it's that kind of balance, working the mind and body at the same time, that for me is the joy of this hike, that's for sure. Thanks guys, I've got to head off.
Good time.
The road calls. Vielen Dank.
Bitte schön.
Tschüss.
Bye.